Will she confirm its single market and customs union, the UK leaving the EU together with no part hived off either in the single market or customs union differences?
When the UK leaves the when the UK leaves the European Union, it will be the UK that leaves the European Union. We will be leaving the European Union together. I'm very clear there should be no hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, but as we've put forward proposals, we can deliver on that and maintain the integrity of our union. And of course, what we're looking at in relation to the, and we made that very clear when the European Union made their proposal that would effectively have carved Northern Ireland away from the rest of the United Kingdom in their backstop proposal. It's precisely because we cannot accept their backstop to a backstop, because they continue to want to see that. In fact, what we want to see in a backstop is a situation where Northern Ireland businesses can both export freely to Great Britain and to the European Union. Actually, that would be a good position for the Northern Ireland businesses.
Alex spoke to senior DUP MP Jim Shannon to have his assessment on whether the crisis has passed for now.
Jim Shannon, can I take you back to last December when the Democratic Unionist Party warned the Prime Minister of the dangers of the so-called backstop? Do you believe this last week these chickens have come home to roost for Downing Street?
It's disappointing that we are where we are, because we felt that last December we had made our position very, very clear. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of smoking mirrors, we've had a lot of discussions with rumours and other allegations and stories put forward, but the things have been very clear. This week has been a difficult week. This week now we're coming into probably will be the culmination of where we are. We're not happy with where the direction that the Prime Minister is indicating at this moment in time, and we're very clear where we are, that we are opposing totally the backstop. We want to be treated, Northern Ireland, the same as the United Kingdom, everybody else, no difference.
Now, the threat that emerged, or the declaration from the DUP, that you would be prepared to withdraw support from the Chancellor's budget, was that a serious intent, or was that part of a political negotiation?
I would say it was serious, because we were dead mad last week. I was mad as a hatter. Told Nigel that last week. The rest of us, when we had our group meeting to discuss where we did on the agricultural bill.
Nigel Dodds, the DUP leader.
Yeah, the DUP leader. We met as a group last week. We took a decision to abstain on the agricultural bill, not because we were against the bill as such, but because we needed to tell government. And we didn't tell them in advance, we just did it. We're very clear when it comes to the budget that we are prepared to push that button if we find that this is going in the wrong direction. It's not an idle threat. It's a fact that we can and we will do it if necessary.
Now, Sammy Wilson, your colleague, told us last week on this programme that in his opinion the Prime Minister should tear everything up and start again. Would that be your advice as well?
Well, I would suggest to the Prime Minister that if she cannot get a deal with Michel Barnier and the rest of the EU, then we only have one option. And that one option, unfortunately, it's not the one I want to see. I'd rather have a deal. But if we can't get a deal, then we go out and leave the EU, and we have a no deal Brexit.
Now, Northern Ireland as a whole, despite the DUP's opposition, voted for Remain. Now, the other parties in Northern Ireland are not represented in the House of Commons, either because you knocked them out, or in the case of Sinn Féin, they pursue an abstentionist position. But doesn't that give you a responsibility to represent all of the opinion of Northern Ireland, not just the DUP position, which was only supported by a minority, a sizable minority, but still a minority?
And my constituency, Alex, just to make it clear, my constituency voted 54-46 to leave. I never doubted that would be the issue, because of a strong farming and a strong fishing community, and their voices were clear. Yeah, it is true that the majority of Northern Ireland did vote to remain. But remember that vote is the whole of the United Kingdom. I've said this to other constituents over the last period of time. The vote wasn't a Northern Ireland regional vote. It wasn't a vote that was regionally taken anywhere else. It was a United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland vote. So therefore the vote that was taken has to be taken in totality for the whole of the United Kingdom. And that's very clear. It was a vote to leave. So how do we move forward? Some of my colleagues and some of my friends would be of the opinion that we should be trying to get a deal with the EU. That's what I want the Prime Minister to do. That's what my party leader, Arlene Foster, and Nigel Dodds here, our parliamentary leader, wants us to do. But if we can't get that, then we have to look at the consequences. The consequences are clear. And it won't be us that will suffer, it will be the EU will suffer as well. So let's look at getting a deal that can bring a conclusion, successful conclusion, and let's have some realism in those talks and discussions.
And finally, Jim Shannon, is part of Downing Street's complacency, perhaps complacency they've been shocked out of over the last few days, about the DUP, is that they believe you wouldn't countenance a general election and a potential Jeremy Corbyn government. Now, for you who's been known to be on the left of your party, perhaps that's not too bad a thing, but for many of your colleagues, that would be the anathema. Is that the reason why the government, up until now, have been complacent about the attitude of the Democratic Unionist Party?
I'm not sure how government have got themselves in the mucks that they're in at this moment in time. But as I said to one of my friends last week, we're not afraid of elections. DUP never have been. We'll take our mandate to the people and we'll let the people decide. It would be better if there wasn't an election, let's be honest. I don't think there's any appetite in the House from either side, with a few exceptions to the... I certainly don't have any wish to see Jeremy Corbyn in a position of power, be it Prime Minister or in government, whatever it may be. I believe the Prime Minister at this moment in time, if she looks at where she's going and plots that course strategically and carefully in cooperation with the DUP, I think we can find a way forward. But she's got to respect us, she's got to trust us, and she's got to build that trust.
Jim Shannon, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.